With the 8th episode of WandaVision, the showrunners began to fit the final pieces of his elaborate puzzle in place. And why wouldn't they, when it was number 8 out of the expected 9-episode run? This was where they needed to set the stage for what fans already expect to be a game-changing finale. One that could effectively shape the next phase of the MCU in a way that the often delayed Black Widow cannot. And would you know it, they just so managed to set that stage just shy of perfectly, in a way that only Kevin Feige and crew can. Hi guys, Michael Abayumi here, and today I'm reviewing the penultimate episode of Disney Plus show, WandaVision. The episode began with a flashback to the Salem witch trials, except here was a coven of witches putting one of their own on trial, and that witch was the recently outed villainess, Agatha Harkness. The trial was being led by her own mother, and it seemed like Agatha had broken the rules of the coven by dabbling into some very dark magic, a crime for which she was to be executed. Except the execution didn't go according to plan, and Agatha comes out unscathed, leaving a circle of bodies in her wake. This is perhaps the darkest I have seen the MCU get since its inception, and I think it signals the direction things might be heading in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, a movie that is already being described as being darker than any of their previous films. The episode then picks up from where we'd left off last week, with Agnes revealing her true self to Wanda, who she apprehends as she reveals her real motive, to find out how Wanda had managed to create the Westview anomaly. She also reveals that Pietro was merely one of her conjurations, a massive misdirect if you will, although how true that is, given last week's post-credit scene, remains to be seen. The bulk of the episode is spent with the two witches taking a trip through Wanda's memories, starting with Wanda's childhood in the war-torn region of Sokovia. We learned that Wanda had spent those early years with her family, watching classic American sitcoms like The Dick Van Dyke Show, as the sounds of warfare and distant gunfire can be heard around them. This explains how her various iterations of Westview were modeled after those very sitcoms, and why she sees those sitcoms as a means of escape from the harshness of reality. This particular memory quickly turns dark though, when their apartment is hit by a bomb that instantly kills both parents, leaving young Wanda and Pietro face to face with the second undetonated bomb, bearing the Stark Industries logo. This is an event that was previously mentioned in the movie Avengers Age of Ultron, but to see it play out so vividly like this adds a new layer of sadness to Wanda's backstory. The next memory they go through shows an older Wanda undergoing experimentation at a Hydra facility, after she'd enlisted with the organization in her quest for revenge against the Tony Starks of the world. We see her interact with Loki's scepter and the Mind Stone, the source of some of her abilities. And even here, she can be seen obsessively watching some more classic sitcoms while being held in an isolation cell. Things move closer to present day in the subsequent memory, when we see her and Vision at the start of their relationship, pegging this time period at just after she joined the Avengers in Age of Ultron. She was still grieving the death of her brother Pietro, and Vision will prove instrumental in helping her cope with the loss. He even drops one of the most heartfelt lines to be heard in the entire MCU. What is grief, if not love, persevering? Next, she's seen approaching the Sword headquarters, demanding to have Vision's body back so she could give him a proper burial. Hayward explains that he was a multi-billion-dollar government property, but agrees to allow her see his remains, with the hope that this will help her realize that there was nothing left of Vision there. And this works, contradicting how Hayward has said the incident had transpired earlier in the show. But as Wanda leaves the Sword headquarters, she discovers the deed to a property in her car, left behind by Vision, a property that turns out to be located in a place called Westview. She proceeds to go there, but the grief of seeing what Vision had intended to be the foundation of their home together proved too much for Wanda, triggering her creation of the Westview anomaly, as well as a manifestation of Vision born out of her memory of him. This effectively explains why Vision was unable to leave the Westview anomaly, since it technically cannot exist outside of his reality, being one of its products. This also raises the question of what exactly had become of the remains of the real Vision. And in the show's second mid-credit scene to date, we watch as Hayward finally reveals his plans for taking control of the situation in Westview, using a fully weaponized version of Vision. With all those events taken together as a whole, Agatha Harkness finally got her answer as to the origins of Wanda's power, something called Chaos Magic, making Wanda herself the Scarlet Witch, a name drop that would no doubt play into her role in the forthcoming movie Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The penultimate episode of WandaVision was the most emotional one we had had since the show's inception. It was also one of the more self-contained, with other players like Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy falling to the sidelines as we focused on the conflict at the very heart of the show. There's no doubt that they'll be getting some kind of conclusion to their ongoing arcs in the final episode, with stories that will perhaps play into both Captain Marvel 2 and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But in the here and the now, Episode 8 of WandaVision has fans eagerly anticipating what will surely be an epic conclusion to the series. I'll give the episode a 9 out of 10. What did you think of the penultimate episode of WandaVision? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd of course be reviewing the finale next weekend, as well as a look back at the entire show as a whole. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on if you are not already, so you don't miss that particular video. And until the next one, this is Michael signing off.